2 for Tuesday. Woohoo! Susan Bright, I am so happy you are back, and I apologize for the way that person was talking to you in chat yesterday. I have a feeling I know who that person is, and that will be dealt with in another way. Minky, look at that. Minky's here on time. Can someone please put a heart in chat for Minky? Because she's here on time. Come on. Walking Dead. And let's take a moment, please, to welcome back one of my best friends who has been ill for quite a while. And look, she is back. I want everyone to sing it from the rooftops. Aggie. Now then, I hate to ask, but I'm going to have to. Who is new here? If you're in the bushes and hiding, come out because we don't bite. My cat bites, but we don't bite. Look at that, Nene Nut. See, look what great friends we are here. She said, Aggie, good to have you back. Angel P said, welcome home. That's what I want to see. So who is new here? We had a lot of new people on the show earlier today. And I'm going to wait to see who fucks with me to say they're new, because it's one of my favorite parts of the show now. I knew it. Walking Dead. I'm new as I can be. Rockin' Robin said, Aggie Willett, glad you are back, sweet lady. Absolutely. Joanne Lane said, welcome back, Aggie. V. Oakley, are you new? Susan Bright said, you go, girl. I kind of went off topic in the earlier show today when that person sent me that stupid ass message. Don't get me wrong. I like stupid ass messages because we get a lot of pleasure out of them. But what we're talking about this afternoon is about Joshua James. 5 years old, he vanished from his family's home. He lived with his mother and siblings in Oregon late last week. So not the Saturday we just had, the Saturday before. Now, I have some other things to say about this case, and I know some people aren't going to agree with me, but that's okay. But the police have come out, and they said a week ago, it is with immense sadness that we have to report that missing Joshua McCoy has been found deceased. Joshua, who had autism, was last seen at his home the evening of Saturday, November 9th, in Hauser, an unincorporated community not far from the Pacific Ocean, about 200 miles southwest of Portland. According to officials, the boy and his mother took a nap at 1 p.m., and when the boy's mother awoke, she reported her son was gone. The boy's body was found Tuesday, less than 2 miles away from the home, 12:30 p.m. local time. No arrests have been made. Let's go back to the beginning, and I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to put the link down, because I would hope that somebody would come up and weigh in on this. The rumors, the rumors, the rumors are insane.
For a missing child in Coos County who's been missing for about 48 hours now. KZI 9 News anchor Jennifer Singh joins us live in the studios. What we know so far, and it's not a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. This is 5-year-old Joshua McCoy behind me. He's been missing since Saturday, November 9th. The Coos County Sheriff's Office says he went missing sometime between 1 and 5:30 Saturday afternoon. That's when he and his mother were taking a nap, and his mother woke up to find him missing from their home on Stage Road in the Hauser area.
Okay, I'm going to start right there. Like we said on the show this morning, deep breath. Everyone, inhale. Exhale. Walking Dead said it's been 10 days he's been missing. No, he's been found. He's been found deceased. Okay, November 9th, which was a Saturday, is when his mom woke up and realized he wasn't home. He was found on Tuesday. Pam Davidson, thank you for being here. She said, I'm about 500 miles from location. I haven't heard of this case. Do police suspect suspicions, circumstances, or wander off? At this point, they suspect he truly just wandered off on his own. Now I'm going to ask all of my good friends in here, has anyone ever taken a nap with young children? Anyone? Has anyone ever taken a nap? You ever nod off on the couch? The kids are sleeping. And you wake up and next thing you know, you have a couple of toddlers that have stacked stuff up trying to get into the cookies. Now that's a good nap. I'll give her that. 1 o'clock to 5:30? Shit. To me, that's called a night's sleep. Okay, I'm going to say that right now. To me, that's called a whole night's sleep. Hang on. Bonafide. Why am I green? I guess my mod was taken away. Fuck you, YouTube. Son of a bitch. Hang on. Add as moderator. Damn it. Getting so sick of YouTube fixing what's not broken. Son of a bitch. God. Okay. Let me take my own advice and let me breathe in and breathe out. Betty Smith said, yes, I used to with my son and he would wake up and do things. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Law enforcement is honestly thinking she didn't do anything. She was napping. The dad in Ohio, their last statement said it's unclear what truly happened to him. He was 2 miles from the home. When the mom couldn't find him, she called and said not only did he grab a jacket and put on his shoes that were by the door, he also took a cell phone with him. It's a cell phone he used, I'm going to assume, to play games and things like that. Now, with the horrific weather that was going on, they had a hard time tracking the phone. But no one in their right now mind is going to kill a child and put them a couple blocks down the road and leave them with a cell phone. That's just my opinion. And I know people are out to get this woman left and right. It is a long damn nap. Angel P, you're right. That's a long nap. Let me tell you what I call that nap, to me, is a good night's sleep.
Josh is white, 3'6", and with brown eyes and brown shoulder-length hair. It's also important to note he does have autism and should answer to Josh or Joshie, but may not respond when called to. The Coos County Sheriff's Office says search and rescue crews are searching for Josh and say the community outreach offering assistance is appreciated, but rescue crews are not asking for help from the public at this time. If you have any information, you're asked to call 911 or the Coos County Sheriff's Office. Live in the studio, Jennifer Singh, KEZI 9 News.
Susan Bright, who I would love to be a member around here because she is right up my alley, said it happens though, but he could have been kidnapped also. I thought about that myself, especially with the tensions between mom and dad. But dad was in Ohio. Ruby Slipper said he put his own shoes on by himself. Odd. Yeah, he's almost 6 years old. He put his own shoes on and he took a cell phone and he took off walking. And remember, as we spoke about in the show earlier today, there are different levels of autism. Different levels. Tara, thank you for this question. She said, I can't seem to find a straight answer. In the sheriff's report, it states a third party reported the missing child. I can't seem to find if mom called police or not. Mom was outside screaming and yelling to try to find Joshua. She asked the neighbor to call the police. She said, call the police now. She didn't say 911. She said, call the police. So yes, a neighbor called. And then they put her on the phone. And she said, get here now. I've got to find my son. That's what we know. As of now. Now, there's a couple of creators that are saying that the mom confessed to beating him to death. There's a creator that said she strangled him. Well, listen, even if someone just got out of the police academy, they would be able to see that a child had been beaten to death. Okay? They would be able to see that a child had been strangled. And as far as this confession, she would be in jail. There truly is such a thing as a child going to do their own thing. I think about Brittany Patterson in Georgia. She did. She left her 10-year-old son home alone. She did. When she took another child to the doctor. That 10-year-old son decided to walk down to a store, and the mom got arrested. Now, this is when they found little Joshua. Here he is right here. Joshua, they call him Joshie, age 5. I love the Home Alone page. He melts my heart. He does. But he has been found. And no, he wasn't found well.
Coos County have confirmed 5-year-old Joshua James McCoy was found deceased on Tuesday. The young autistic boy went missing Saturday evening from his home on Stage Road in Hauser. His mother reported him missing around 5:30 p.m. when she discovered he was not in the house after they both took a nap. County, state, and federal resources searched intensely over the last few days, even asking the public to steer clear of the area.
Citizens that obviously see the uptick of law enforcement and personnel, it's been requested that folks kind of just remain out of the immediate area where the search is being conducted.
They strained a nearby pond, used K9 units, drones, and canvassed the area with about 60 people. At around 12:30 yesterday afternoon, Joshua was discovered approximately 1.6 miles northwest of his home, almost
1.6 miles away from his home. And he had a cell phone. And I can't speak for your kids or your grandkids, but at the age of 6, my children knew how to put on their coat. My children knew how to put on their shoes. My children knew how to put on their socks, change their underwear. And I used to put my kids down every afternoon, and I'm like, it's nap time. And they were slippery little boogers, not going to lie. Just when I thought I could hear everything, sometimes I couldn't. Well, hello, Junie. Hello, I'm over listening to the rest of this morning's live. Here you are again. LOL, I'm telling you. Susan Bright said, I personally find it hard to believe that he got his own shoes on, own coat, and a cell phone. He had the cell phone with him quite often because he played games on it. And as far as autism, there's different degrees of it. I understand there's been a label slapped on children with autism lately. Some are high functioning, very high functioning.
Requested that folks kind of just remain out of the immediate area where the search is being conducted.
They strained a nearby pond, used K9 units, drones, and canvassed the area with about 60 people. At around 12:30 yesterday afternoon, Joshua was discovered approximately 1.6 miles northwest of his home, almost 2 miles from the road. The Coos County Sheriff's Office reiterated last night in a Facebook post that the investigation is still ongoing. No one is in custody, and the cause of death remains unknown. Some people in that community, of course, organizing a candlelight vigil for Joshua. The vigil will take place at North Bay Elementary in North Bend at the field behind the playground this Saturday at 6 p.m. We spoke with Shauna Bogart, one of the people organizing the vigil. She says this Saturday would have been Joshua's 6th birthday. And while she never met him, she says the community is so tight-knit that when tragedy like this strikes, it's important to come together.
Very heartbroken to see things like this in our local community or anywhere happen. And we just want to make sure that everybody has their way of expressing their love for our own community or anyone around them.
Saturday's vigil is open to the public. Donations will be accepted for Joshua's family, some of whom will be present at the vigil.
Extremely sad. Pink Lotus, welcome to the channel. She said he didn't have his shoes on, did he? He did. He put his shoes on. He put his shoes on. He put a jacket on. And he decided to take his own little walk. Tara, wow, thank you for being here. She said, I was at the vigil. Tara, can you please grab the link and come up? Because I would love to talk to you. Because this case is really, really hitting me hard. I have a nephew who is autistic. And I just cannot stand when people slap a label and say, oh, well, they're autistic. Listen, we're not talking about someone that can't take care of themselves. We're not talking about that. There's different degrees. Now, his uncle has weighed in. His name is Josh McCoy. He says, news about JJ, my nephew, 5 years old in Oregon. My brother, the dad, has been notified, and the grandparents on our side. Rumors are spreading about who did what and what happened, but police and FBI investigators have not really told us what happened. Could be an accident, or we're still waiting. At this moment, we're just waiting for the autopsy and police to tell us something. Hang on. You can't believe this or that or a friend of this said. Because he was actually seen walking down the road. Truth is, he was. And when you're in a small community, people don't pay attention. I see kids around here on their bikes, on the way to the park. I don't think anything about it. I just don't. But what some creators are saying about this mother, she beat him to death? Hold on. That has never, ever been said. She was drunk and he wanted food? That's never been said. He was strangled? No. Now look, she could be guilty as sin. She could be guilty as sin. But no one is going to kill their child, put them in a jacket, put their shoes on them, and put them with a cell phone, go put them in the woods, come back when she was not seen leaving or coming or going, and then come back and scream for someone to call the police for help. Now, I understand there's been a lot of people upset, okay? They're saying, she's not said anything on social media. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Aggie, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. Love you. Pam Davidson. So when was he found? He was found the Tuesday after when he disappeared. The autopsy, I don't know how long it takes the medical examiner in Oregon to do this. Tara, welcome to the channel. Thank you for coming up.
Hi.
Hi. Now, what are people saying? Because you're from this town. What are people saying?
I am. So it's a very small area just outside of North Bend, Coos Bay. It's like in between North Bend, Coos Bay, and Reedsport. And it was really shocking. I'm really close to Stage Road. I pass Stage Road to get to my house every single day. And I've been down Stage Road several times. It's incredibly tough terrain. Like, it's very thick woods. I go through the woods here all the time. I forage for mushrooms and stuff. And honestly, I have a hard time believing that an almost 6-year-old could do that on their own, especially with the weather during that time.
Now that's what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't live there. I live outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
Explain to me the weather conditions that day.
It was really, really stormy and rainy and windy. We had branches coming down in our area. Some people lost power for a little bit. That was all in for all of the days that before he was found. I mean, it was incredibly stormy. The cops couldn't even go out and look. They were going to, right before they found them, they were going to call off the search for that day just because it was too dangerous to be out there.
Now, the mother said that she knew he had his cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a hard time. I have to read the article again that said it was hard to track it due to the conditions.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that.
So are people thinking mom, who was not seen coming or going out of the house, or maybe a boyfriend, someone did this? Because there's no cause of death.
Right.
What are people in your community saying?
Well, shortly after he was found, everybody was glued to the local social media pages, and people were saying that she's the one that led the cops to the body. That the cops, I'm sorry.
Which is not true. What she said was, he has a cell phone. Maybe you can find him that way.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, right when it happened, everything kind of blew up, and people were saying that she led to the body, that she admitted, that she put a confession in. That blew up almost instantly. And it was on the Coos County scanner page. So people kept saying that they heard it through the scanner. And people around here, they kept saying, you know, let's wait, let's not jump to conclusions. And people were saying that the admins of the scanner page also confirmed that it was heard over the scanner, that she led the cops to the body and put in a confession.
That is so strange, because she would be in jail.
Exactly. I mean, I've been checking the jail roster every single day. I don't know how long, you know, I would also think a confession, she would be going right away. I don't know how long the investigation takes. You know, the sheriff put out a report a few days later that said, you know, nobody has been arrested, that they're still investigating. So, you know, that kind of quieted all of the local groups. Thank you so much for covering this, because it's my neighborhood. I mean, we're not neighbors, but it's, you know, this is my neighborhood. And so like, I want to talk about it with people. I also don't want to jump to conclusions, but
Right. We have to be fair. Now, question from every Southern gal, and you live right there, my girlfriend. You live right there in the neighborhood, and I'm so happy you're there.
No, I literally share the same woods as where he was found in, basically, almost. You know, it's and what really got me were right away the cops basically said, you know, don't come and help search, because everybody, as soon as we heard that, we wanted to mobilize and help search these woods, because it's an expansive woods here. And it's super thick, and they told everybody no. So, you know, that right off the bat, that made me a little suspicious, and it made everybody.
We've heard that in other cases where, you know, authorities will say, no, just search your own properties and let us go out in the storm, or us, you know, go out into the terrain, because we don't want to look for you too, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I do understand that. But like, they were literally turning everybody away. Yeah. So
and I think about the man that, you know, when they did the drones and they realized where he was, and he had to go and get him, and people are giving him hell because he carried him out of the woods.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe he thought he was still alive. He didn't see any injury to him. So he was beaten to death. He was strangled. He was shot. He was stabbed. He would obviously see that.
Right.
Let's go through this real quick, and we'll come right back to you. Don't hang up.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. No worries.
A 5-year-old boy who was found dead in Coos County is speaking out tonight about his son's tragic death. In an exclusive interview, I spoke with the dad about the heartbreaking loss of his son, Joshua James McCoy.
I would give anything in this world to hold him one more time and kiss his forehead and tell him how much I love him.
Okay, that's a lot to hear, you know, to hear the daddy crying. Oh my gosh. What do we know about the protective order that the mom put against the dad, and she left from Ohio to Oregon? Do you know anything about that, Tara?
I don't know anything about the protective order.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. You know, the what I've heard going around is just that he was in Ohio. I had no idea there was actually a protection order.
Okay. No, I got you totally.
Yeah.
Because we want to know the truth and not, you know, these crazy ass rumors. I mean, if I want rumors, I'll go to fucking Reddit. Okay. I got all day for that shit.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. You know, one of the first rumors that came out as well is that she admitted to it, and she said that it was because she couldn't afford food. And that just threw everybody for a loop. You know, we're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And just none of it made sense. None of it has made sense to me since it first, you know. since it first happened, none of it's made sense at all. So, and I also want to just to paint a picture of where they live. Like, it's not a very well populated area whatsoever. Like, I'd imagine most people have about an acre. Especially, they live more towards the back end of that road. So it's a very rural setting where, like, the neighbors shouldn't be super close. I haven't gone to go look at their house, but just knowing the layout of those neighborhoods, it's not like the house is right next door.
Right. And also the Pacific Northwest, which, by the way, is gorgeous.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful here.
Gorgeous area.
Yeah, yeah.
It wouldn't be hard for a child to get lost in the woods.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And kiss his forehead and tell him how much I love him.
Lawson McCoy, who likes to go by Amos, shares his heartbreak in a phone interview from his home in Wellston, Ohio, after learning his 5-year-old son, Joshua James McCoy, was found dead near Coos Bay.
Okay, so I am not here to pick on dad or mom because we do not have any facts as to what happened. We do know a protective order was put against dad. We know dad lives in Ohio. We know mom lives in Oregon. Hold on one second. Just give me a second. I got to yell out the window. Hunter, would you turn that fucking chainsaw off? I got a fucking show going on. I'm back. It's my neighbor.
You're hilarious.
Getting so sick of that shit. Everyone knows I've got a show going. He's still doing it. Son of a bitch. I'm going to put his phone number in here and someone can call him. God. He just sent me the flipper finger. He just gave me the bird. What? Damn it. Real Rock and Robin said, like I told you, the hostess with the mostest. I'm telling you what to do. All right. Y'all, we got to be nice. We have a new friend here. Her name's Tara. She's never been on the show before. We have to put on our best impression. I will not yell at the neighbors today. So if dad's in Ohio, mom's in Oregon, there's a protective order against dad. It says that she was having financial problems. Why was dad not sending money? Does anyone know? I mean, I asked that question and they were like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Do you know, Tara? Have you heard anything about it?
No clue. It's a little funny because it's such a small town. I feel like I would hear somebody or know somebody or run into somebody that knows them, but I haven't really. You know, and there's a little gas station there that it helped during the searches. Like, everybody donated some hot food and people kind of gathered there a little bit because it's really close to Stage Road. And, you know, I was kind of grilling them and they didn't know. So I don't know. I don't know anything really into their personal lives. All I know is what I've read. So.
Okay, let's get back to this and we're going to come back to you because it's really important conversation.
Tuesday afternoon. He says authorities informed him Joshua was missing on Saturday. Coos County Sheriff's Office says he was last seen with his mother on Saturday around 1 p.m. at her home in Hauser before she took a nap.
The FBI came and they took me and talked to me about everything, and I freely gave my phone information and my mouth swabs because I'm innocent. I'm a victim.
Amos says when he and Joshua's mom lived together for 4.5 years in Hauser, he always taught Joshua to stay away from the pond alone and not wander away from their home.
He was autistic, but he was a genius.
Thank you. That's what I needed. I cannot stand when someone slaps a label. I can't stand it. This is not a factory, a canning factory, where you say it's green beans, we're going to put Dole on this one, and we're going to put Best Saver on this one, and we're going to put, Sam's Choice on this one. He said he was autistic, but he was a genius. So when some people don't seem to understand that on his own, he got up from his nap, put on his shoes, put on his jacket. Obviously, he didn't check the weather, and he grabbed his phone. So what happened in the woods? Because he wasn't beaten to death, he wasn't strangled, he wasn't shot, he wasn't stabbed. His mother didn't confess. His mother did not tell them where his body was. His mother said he has a cell phone with him. She said, track his cell phone. You're in the hot seat, Tara.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, when it first happened, I was what scared me is we've had a lot of bear activity around here lately.
Shit.
So that scared me at first, and just the weather and the branches coming down, and I heard he only had a diaper on. But there's so many rumors going around about this case that I have no idea what's real and what's not. So,
that's all we want to know.
Right.
I mean, that's all we want to know. Trisha, welcome to the channel. She said the house she lives in is high priced. Rent was high. I've seen a picture of the house. Even in Glenpool, Oklahoma, I would think it cost a pretty penny to live there.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And, I heard she was a traveling nurse, which, that's usually a high, somewhat high paying job. Those are the only things that I know. And that's why when the rumors came out that she did this because she couldn't afford to take care of him and food and afford to feed him and all of those things, it seemed absolutely ridiculous.
Baby Kisses said if a bear did something, there would be a huge bloody mess. And
exactly.
what we know from authorities is that they're unclear as to how he passed away.
Yeah.
So, she said, I'm curious, was the new boyfriend ever looked into? Oh, I'm sure they have a lot of questions for him, but my understanding is he wasn't there.
He's been able to read, and he's been able to type words and things like that since he was 2.5 years old.
Federal, state, and local.
Yeah, so quit with the autism label. I don't like it. He said he's been able to read since he was 2 years old. He's known how to dress himself. He's known how to go to the bathroom. He hasn't worn a diaper since he was 1 year old.
Local law enforcement scoured 7 counties in Oregon and California for 3 days with canines, drones, and other technology searching for Joshua. They even drained a pond behind the child's home. Authorities got a ping from the cell phone Joshua was carrying, but Amos says they couldn't find him because it was on airplane mode. Then, Coos County Sheriff Gabe Fabrizio confirmed Amos's worst nightmare.
The cause of death is still in our investigation, but thankfully we've had amazing support from partner agencies, both local, state, federal. We've had a lot of people out here.
All right. So this is the sheriff. He's saying the cause of death is still under investigation because they don't know. So what could it be? You say, mom's a traveling nurse. I don't think she's bringing pills home with her.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny. I had this conversation with a friend of mine that lives across the U.S. And, we used to work in teen DD homes, so developmentally disabled teen homes together. And she still does that. And I was like, well, because I leaned really hard, I was very suspicious from the get-go. And I'm like, well, she's a traveling nurse. If she feels like maybe she was going to snap or something, like, wouldn't kind of feel that, or if you feel like you're not able to take care of your autistic son, when you reach out to help, she knows that there's plenty of resources out there. And my friend just kind of laughed, and she's like, you know, how many nurses have you met? It doesn't exclude somebody from having a mental break or
That's true.
being a shitty person, honestly. So
Exactly. Thank you. You're going to fit in perfect here. Because we just think outside the box and say what's on our mind. You know, nurse or not, she obviously had money for food, because as a traveling nurse, she was making $58 an hour. That's what I understand. What got me going was new boyfriend. I thought maybe new boyfriend did something.
Well, and I haven't even heard anything about a new boyfriend, so that's all news to me.
But if new boyfriend wasn't there, new boyfriend couldn't have done anything.
Right. Well, and I would think that there would be plenty of houses on that road. It's kind of a one lane, stage road. It's a big, long road. I would think that one of those houses on those roads would have some sort of ring camera that could see if boyfriend actually came back while she was napping or not, or whatever.
Well, my understanding is they have questioned all of the neighbors, and they clearly saw when he walked out on his own.
Yeah.
They clearly saw that mom never left and never came back.
Right.
I mean, that's all we know. And I do know that people are saying, why is she not speaking out? Why is she not on social media? Listen, 2 recent trials that we have covered on this channel. One is the case of Gannon Stout. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yep.
Okay. His father was destroyed on social media. Why is he not speaking out? We found out at the trial, he was told not to say a word. Okay.
Yeah.
Really important. Our most recent trial is the case of Leilani Simon on the murder of Quentin Simon.
I'm not familiar with that one.
We got a whole playlist.
Well,
Danny,
I will check it out.
you got it, girl. You got it. You're in the club now.
Yeah, I am.
Danny Duncan was told, do not say anything on social media. So she could have been advised from the beginning
Right.
not to say anything. And also, where little Joshy was found, it was like he was hiking, like he was going through the woods and like seriously hiking.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wish, a part of me really wants to hear from the mother. Did they go in the woods and play a lot? Did he have I would think that if they did, she would follow that path looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't stress enough, like, how it's not hiking terrain. It's not.
No.
You would have to be going up and over, down trees and logs and bushes, like thick brush, lots of trees, really like unstable footing terrain, and a lot of hills, and it goes down into a valley eventually, that forest. Like, it's nuts. I'm in that forest a lot. And that's why, like, another reason I was just so intrigued by this case, not only it's my woods, I consider my woods, it's my neighborhood,
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it scared me so much. I know that, any child that age wouldn't be able to survive very long.
No, and it
or,
seems
or overnight, basically.
to me it seems that's what happened.
Yeah.
Britt said, I just don't see a 6-year-old doing that alone. Well,
yeah,
haven't met my kids, because shit, I had to nail them down. Trisha said maybe he was following an animal. It has been said he was intrigued by the wildlife there.
Interesting. That could, I feel like that could lead him in there. but to keep going, it would be really hard to track any sort of smaller animal unless it was a big animal and you don't want to meet a big animal. So
No.
We'll
yeah.
help them to look, and I just wish there was a better outcome.
Amos, who is a retired disabled Air Force veteran and father of 4 older children, says Officer Justin Gray, a fellow veteran and father, told him he wasn't leaving the mountain until he got his son.
And Officer Gray is my hero. He's the man that carried my son from the forest. I love him so much.
Now, as authorities, including the FBI, work to determine the cause of Joshua's death, Amos thanks the community for all of their hard work and says,
Justice for Joshua. Justice for Joshua, my son. I want justice for my son. I want to know the truth.
Okay, who can blame the father for not saying, I need to know the truth? Hey, he could be a piece of shit. He could be the biggest deadbeat on the planet. But does not mean that he doesn't have the right to say, I want to know what happened to my son.
It's just, it's so terrifying. It's so horrible.
It is. It is. I think about that little boy in Alaska that took off on his own, and it took him 7 days to find him. He got a backpack. He had everything. He wanted to go do his own thing.
Well, Amos says he and his family hope to bury Joshua in Ohio near them. And he says he has not spoken to Joshua's mom since their son's disappearance. Meanwhile, the Coos County Sheriff's Office has not released any new information on their investigation. But Amos says he has full faith in a law enforcement team to bring justice for Joshua.
All right. Now, Dad's getting a lot of heat on the social media streets. People are saying, then why weren't you there? Why were you not paying his mother any money? How come you haven't seen him in 2 years? We have some family turmoil going on, which really, in my opinion, has nothing to do with Joshua's disappearance and Joshua's death. Let me take a poll right now because I want to hear what you all say. Do you think this is foul play, or do you believe that Joshua succumbed to the elements? Put a 1 in for foul play, 2 for succumb to the elements, or call it an accident. I don't know.
Do you want to hear my vote?
Yes, go ahead.
I've been suspicious from day one. Just knowing the woods, being pretty close to this case, I'd say that almost everybody locally thinks that the mom is guilty, that she did something and she took him out and placed him there.
See, but I totally understand what you're saying. Okay, Trisha is saying 1. She thinks there's foul play.
Yeah.
Joanne says 1. Let's see. Angel P, thank you for being the deciding factor. She said, I don't know yet. Thank you for your precipitation. And Aggie said 2. Real Rock and Robin said 3. Need more info. 2. Pat K says 2. Let's see what we have. Britt, have you been listening? She said, how long was he missing? So
it was several days. It was, I think, 3 days, 4 days?
Saturday to Tuesday. So Saturday the 9th. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. They found him a week ago today.
Yeah.
Okay, we have breaking news, everyone. Hold on.
Oh.
We have breaking news. Everyone, do not move. This is so important. This just in from the CLL news desk. Britt was not paying attention because she was getting groceries and she said she's sorry. Can everyone say thank you for Britt for her participation? Thank you, Britt. Go back in and get some half and half for me because I'm almost out for my coffee.
BC5 News at 5 starts now.
The family of a young boy found dead in Coos County sharing their memories and expressing gratitude to the community. Thanks for choosing NBC5 News at 5. I'm Craig Smolin. Tonight, we're hearing from Joshua McCoy's uncle, who says he was devastated to hear his 5-year-old nephew was found deceased Tuesday in Coos County. That's our top story tonight at 5.
I'm just there right now. My family, like my mother and the father, my brother, he is taking a really hard time.
Joshua James McCoy, or JJ, was named after his uncle Joshua. He tells us JJ was a happy kid and a climber who loved to play inside. They were planning on traveling from Ohio to attend tomorrow's candlelight vigil in North Bend, but McCoy says his mother and brother did not feel well enough to travel. Nonetheless, McCoy says they're grateful for the community for organizing the vigil.
The support that we're getting from people in that area and news outlets and daycares and tons of people that is just calling and supporting us. They're having that candlelight ceremony. They're having a motorcycle ride, a Jeep ride with like the sheriff and police department in it.
There was a GoFundMe for the father's side of the family's efforts to bring JJ back to be buried in Ohio with family. They also want to hire a private investigator to understand the circumstances around JJ's death. You can visit our website, kobi5.com, to find a link to the GoFundMe. As mentioned, a vigil for Joshua is being held at North Bay Elementary School in North Bend, starting at 6 Saturday night. Saturday would have been Joshua's 6th birthday. Donations will be accepted for his family.
Jeez, he's precious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he is such a gorgeous little boy. Let's look at a few things. You said you were at the vigil?
I was. It was a pouring down rain. I mean, absolutely pouring, but it didn't stop anybody. Everybody came out, everybody that had a motorcycle and a Jeep, they met up in town, and then they rode out here in like a motorcade, and it was at the elementary school, and there was some people speaking. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear it. The sound there was absolutely horrible, and it was just raining like crazy. So it was, and there was quite a few people there, you know. And finally, at the end, we all sang "Happy Birthday" to Joshy, and that was about it. And now on Stage Road, they've put up a memorial on the corner that people are dropping off, you know, little stuffed animals and candles and balloons. I mean, it was, you know, just right before his birthday was, you know, yeah, it was really sad. As much as it's torn the community apart emotionally, you know, it was wonderful to see everybody showing up and everybody caring about this little boy.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's it's crazy. You know, the news spread like wildfire. Everybody was talking about it, and people are still talking about it, but it's more in a hushed tone, you know, just because nobody knows anything. It's all speculation. So,
Well, and it's going to be speculation until they get the autopsy back. And I think they probably already have it, but they just want everyone to simmer down. Because, I mean, people are calling for the mom to be put in jail.
possibly, the wheels of justice also just really turned fucking slow out here. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can swear. Like, oh yeah,
Absolutely.
you swore at the chainsaw person. I think I can do it.
Now, we say around here,
Um,
justice is a crock pot. It's not a microwave.
yeah, yeah. So, the medical services out here are very under par. Just this region is not. It doesn't have a lot of funds for any sort of law. Like we're trying to vote in to actually just be able to keep people in jail out here. There's hardly any cops. Yeah. So I imagine that it could take a lot of time, even though there's a lot of light on this case, and this is a crazy case. It doesn't mean that they're going to light a fire under their butts. Really, there's still just so much
But I mean,
to go through.
how long does it take for the medical examiner in your area to come back with a cause of death?
I have no clue. This isn't something that happens out here very often, honestly.
Right.
And nothing too crazy to make me want to follow it. And like this one is a little bit different than, we don't get a ton of murders out here necessarily,
No, not since Ted Bundy. Comrie said, where I live, 6-year-olds are playing football. Why are people saying he couldn't put his shoes on and go for a walk? See, that's what I'm talking about. True. Trisha, makes you wonder why they want to bury him in Ohio, away from where the mom lives. In my opinion, her family in Ohio too. What I have been told is that he is going to be buried in Oregon, and that the money being raised will just go in Dad's pocket because no charges have been filed and he doesn't have any rights to him. Now, that's just what I was told. And I have been told a lot of bullshit in the past, so we will see how this plays out. All right, let's look at the vigil. Now, is this where you're saying this corner where people are putting?
Yeah, that's at the corner of Stage Road.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it was raining. It was raining buckets, wasn't it?
It was. We got soaked, and we had an umbrella, and everybody was completely drenched.
Very sad. Very, very sad. Trisha said odd. I guarantee it is. There is something not jiving with me. It's not passing the smell test. We don't have a cause of death. He put his shoes on, his socks on, his jacket on, goes out into a storm with a cell phone.
Have you seen the videos that Grandma posted?
No, send them to me.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can do all that while I will try though. But one thing, just to you guys are speculating if your kids play football, why couldn't he go for a walk in the woods? And while I don't think that he didn't seem physically encumbered too much, he did look very, very skinny and frail, in my opinion, for an almost 6-year-old.
Well, I can respect that. I know what you're saying.
But some kids are wiry and just fine. But there was one video, and he was playing with some sort of a toy, and it did appear that he had like some sort, a little bit of hand-eye motor skill issues, a little bit, not entirely, but so just that weighs in my mind, and that's another reason why I don't feel like he could get quite so far through that thick of brush by himself. So
it makes you wonder.
Right. Well, and also in the sheriff report, they did mention, so they said 1.6 miles basically almost in a straight line, but 2 miles by the road. So
and I understand what they're saying it was hard to track him because of the torrential rain. I do get that part of it, because the dogs couldn't exactly track him, because as much as it's raining, they can't pick up on his scent. You there, Tara? Oh, Tara.
Community members in Cook County continue to mourn the loss of 5-year-old Joshua McCoy, who was found dead last week in Coos County. This comes as the FBI says it's continuing to examine evidence in the case in partnership with local law enforcement. More than 200 people attended a weekend candlelight vigil in House where the boy lived. That vigil held at North Bay Elementary School. Attendees standing in the field outside of the school under the rain with their candles, all in remembrance of Joshua.
And it's very tragic.
Do you know this lady, Tara?
No, I don't. I do not.
Sophia. I wish I could nap for even an hour. 4-hour nap doesn't sound right to me. Like I said, the nap sounds like a good night's sleep to me. Pat K has a question. She wants to know, Tara, how far is it into the brush? I think
I would say, I honestly, I should just go and drive and look at the house. I've been keeping away because they told everybody to keep away, and then I just haven't done it yet. But I would imagine, and also looking at the Zillow photos, which I have done, and just knowing that area, I would say they probably have, some sort of a backyard. It depends, kind of a regular or maybe even oversized backyard. But then I would imagine that the brush starts immediately, kind of at the property line.
Okay.
At the back. That's what I would imagine. And, I was trying to figure out what direction he would even try to go. They're basically, if he would have gone west, that would have brought him to Highway 101, which scared the bejesus out of me, but I figured somebody would have seen him at least if he went that way. And then the one way would be down the road. And then I think two other options, one might be up the road a little bit, but then it's going to be woods, and then just woods on the other side. So
and we thought that everybody deserved to pay their respects in their own way.
McCoy was reported missing November 9th, and his body was found 3 days later, nearly 2 miles away from his home. No cause of death has been released. Coos County Sheriff's Office is leading the case with help from the FBI. We did reach out to CCSO multiple times today for an update. We've not received a call back.
Well, I have a feeling. Tricia said nurses work a lot of hours, and raising a kid on your own is a struggle itself. Have to try and get sleep when you can. This is true. This is very true. She's juggling everything on her own. I get it. Pink Lotus said, I cannot understand why, when his father left, why he didn't take him with him. Protective order. 2 words. Protective order. Danny Dane. COD not released. Has anyone even been arrested? No. What I'm looking at right now is they believe this was truly an accident at this point. At this point. And remember, protect yourself, okay? Before you start getting in your feelings and putting all this money into this GoFundMe for the dad, please remember, no one has been accused. No one is a person of interest. No one has been charged. 2 Boston moms. She said the level of autism is called a spectrum, and BHB can fuck off for all I care. Love you, Boston. She has no clue about autism and autistic children. Don't speak on it if you can't educate yourself first. Thank you to Boston moms, because I say every day there is different levels. And not to compare apples to oranges, it's the only thing I can think of. If someone has cancer, let's say, God forbid, All right? If they have cancer, there is a huge difference between stage 1 and stage 4. All right? Let me put it this way. If I go to the restaurant and I say, I want my steak medium rare. Okay, forget that analogy. Anyhow, we can't just continue to slap a label on someone. We just can't do it. And the minute people hear autism, they assume that the child can't function. And 9 times out of 10, they're higher functioning than their own parents. Pink Lotus 444. I can tell you about autism. If people understand, I can explain it so people can understand it. Come on up. Come on up. We're an easy group here. Come on. We got 158 people in here right now. I like it better this way. I like a tighter living room as opposed to a bunch of damn weirdos that come in. Hell, one time, Tara, we had like 2,200 people in here, and I'm like, who are these fucking freaks?
Well, somebody linked you in one of the community groups, and I'm like, I got to check this out. I've just been dying to talk about this.
Good. Hold on one second. I get the phone. Hello? You know, for the love of Pete, you guys keep calling me all the motherfucking time. And you know that what I am doing right now, I have a true crime channel. I do not have a Jeep Cherokee. I don't have a goddamn warranty. Take me off your fucking list. Welcome to the channel, Pink Lotus.
Hello.
All right, what are you thinking? What do you know?
Okay, autism can go from ones that can't function, people that can't function, and people that can function well but still have autistic traits. Okay. My son has autistic traits, but he functions very well. For all 8 years he's been in school, he's get straight A's and everything.
Mm-hmm.
However, for breakfast every morning for 2 years, eggs and toast, nothing more. Doesn't like cereal. He refuses to eat certain things with a certain texture. Those are autistic traits. Okay. And then there's some that can't retain information.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a lower form of it. Like, think of it as like a on a number line. You got 0 to 10, let's say. In the middle can be autistic but functions well. Then you got the higher, like my son, that's like almost a genius, but he still has autistic traits. Albert Einstein was autistic.
Absolutely. He had to have his address written down in his coat because he could not remember his address. But
yes,
he could remember everything else. I think about a friend of mine, and I think about my nephew. He is autistic now. He will probably never, ever live away from my sister and my brother-in-law. That will never happen. Okay, but then I think about a friend of mine and her son. He is autistic, and I'm telling you, he's like a Good Will Hunting type of dude. Okay,
yeah,
he can read something and recite it right back to you.
Yep. And however, on people that are autistic, when they're in school, they could function very well in everything else, but there's one subject that they have trouble with. My son does. However, he still gets A's, but he struggles to get that A. And if he don't get A's, and this has got nothing to do with me because I've told him, as long as you get a high C, I'm happy. It bothers him to his core if he doesn't get an A. It's like an obsession. They obsess over things. They have, a lot of them are like, have a, what do you call that? OCD. They like obsess over certain things. People with OCD can be autistic. Like but then there's people that are autistic that can't function at all.
Exactly.
And without help, you know what I mean?
And I mean, it's all okay. So would it be out of the realm of possibility that little Joshy put on his shoes, put on his socks, put on his jacket, grabbed his cell phone, and decided to go out on his own adventure?
Absolutely. My son could have done that when he was 6. Absolutely.
Okay.
Because he may have obsessed over having his shoes on to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Getting his coat on to go outside. You know, it just, and knowing that that's what you're supposed to do, period.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Angel P said, like repetition and structured routine. Thank you for that.
Yes. They have to have a routine. They're routine kind of people. Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you this, opinion only, speculation only, because we do not know what the medical examiner is going to say.
Right.
What do you think? I don't know if you live in the area or not. What do you think happened as he was going around those woods and everything? What could he have succumbed to? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, in my opinion, I need more information, because I've heard, like in the very beginning, I heard he didn't have shoes on, but then now I'm hearing that he did. So, and yes, with autism, he could have I don't know what level of autism they're saying that he had. He could have had a real high functioning, or he could have had a lower functioning. Like I said, use it like a ruler from 1 to 10. He could have been at 5. He could have been at just an inch before 10. Or he could have been at 10, which would make him genius. There are autistic people that are geniuses. Like I said, our Einstein, he was autistic, very autistic.
We look at Elon Musk. I mean, that shit. I mean, could you imagine being at Mar-a-Lago with him right now, jumping around, showing all those ideas to Trump? He's probably ready to kill him. Anyhow, so what could have killed him in the woods? Is there something he could have eaten?
Yes, a berry.
Tara, do you know? Because he had to survive for a few days.
Like he may have, you know how you'll see those berries that look like strawberries, but they're not. I have to tell my son still to this day, don't touch it. You don't know what it is, don't touch it, right? Some parents don't know to tell their children that. See, I learned from when he was a baby that his motor skills and everything were okay, but he had routine even as a baby. So I kind of knew then.
Okay,
like he has
right there, because I guarantee what they're waiting on right now, unless they already know, because we know he wasn't beaten to death. We know he wasn't strangled. We know she didn't confess. We know she did not tell them where his body was. She said she cried to a neighbor, called 911, and the mother, hang on 1 second, I gotta get my cat now. Calm down. let me go back to what I was saying. He wasn't beaten to death. He wasn't strangled, because that would be easy to figure out. So I'm wondering, with his time out in the woods, if he did not eat something poisonous. Or like Just Me said, exposure. Trisha said some berries are poisonous.
Yes. And like, okay, I'll tell you one more thing. Like, people with autism too, like when they get hurt, like my son, I have to run after him. I have to run because he'll run from me. He won't stop and tell me that it hurts. I can, if he falls down and he gets up and starts running, I know he's hurt. I know that. Some of them won't let you know that they hurt because they want to try to fix it themselves. A lot of them. So he could have ate something that didn't work well with his body. You know, I don't know. I need more information like everyone else.
Well, I think it's going to be very telling, because the only thing that could take this long is toxicology. And that's what I'm wondering. Did he eat something in the woods that could have been poisonous? I don't know. What do you think, Tara? Where the hell did Tara go? Tara?
There's certain mushrooms too that are poisonous. He may have found like a thing that looked like a mushroom and thought it was a mushroom.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the only thing real poisonous. I mean, there could be some poison berries and stuff out there, but I would say the level of poison would be like make you feel sick, not necessarily kill you. You know, I would say if he died out there all on his own, I would say it would mostly be exposure, you know, lack of water. Maybe falling and hitting his head, or something hitting his head that it's not necessarily super, you know, at first glance pulling him off the hill noticeable. But you know, the fact that there weren't any noticeable marks, or I mean, I guess we're kind of assuming that from what
that's what the local newspaper said.
Right.
Look, I'm going to drop down. I just wanted to explain autism a little bit. I hope it helped.
No, you did. Absolutely. Everyone, let's have a big round of applause for Pink Lotus. And don't forget, be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Tricia said one would think that he would go to a house if he was hungry. Just saying, and maybe yell if he couldn't find his way out. You would think. But I don't know his level of autism. I don't know how comfortable he is with other people.
I did hear, or I read online that somebody that he was enrolled at one time at like a preschool or a kindergarten or a daycare with somebody that had a child that went with him. And they wrote that the child, that Joshy, seemed a bit unkempt, a bit dirty and smelly, but that is also just, you know, all hearsay. I have no facts, but I'm just kind of letting you know what I've read online. That if
we're going to get them. We're going to get them. You guys put a 1 in chat if you want to follow up on this case, because I'm all in. Put a 2 in there saying, nah, I already figured it out. Y'all tell me. And let's please welcome our new friend, Tara, because she has been a total blessing to have on panel. All right, y'all, if you're not a member, grab that link and become a member, because you know what's coming up. We have Thankful for Friends coming up. We have Christmas coming up. You know, I know someone that got a damn Instapot out of my ass, and that bitch was only a member for a day. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, not going to worry about that. But I want everyone to stay around because we have a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow. We have another show tomorrow morning, and we're going to have 2 more shows on Thursday. So make sure you are subscribed, you're reminded. I will try to keep my cat and my neighbor under wraps and the warranty people about, oh, here we go, Pat. LOL, Deb. Yes, thank you, Pat, for rubbing it in. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. Sophia, I just want a free t-shirt. You're on the way. Actually, you know what? Send me an email. I'll send you one. Yeah, we got t-shirts. You wouldn't even believe all the stuff I've been making lately. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your Taco Tuesday. And I'm going to dig up some more stuff on this case because I am totally in. Y'all say thank you so much to Tara.
Thank you, guys. I'm hooked.